you'll keep doing it until you satisfy that need. All right. So, as human beings, we start as small children, and we go out into the world, and as we encounter it, we figure out how it relates to us. What stuff is good for us, what's dangerous, what we can use, what we can't use, what we can ignore, what we have to pay attention to. And we create this order all around us, and eventually you get to a certain point where you can't figure it out. And just as when you're hungry, the pangs of hunger do not disappear just because there's no food. The need for love does not disappear just because everyone hates you. The need continues, even if it can't be satisfied. Well, if you're in that state and then somebody comes along and says, hey, I can tell you what it all means in relationship to you. There's this God guy, and he knows your place in the universe, and he's organized the whole universe so that you have a place in it and a role in it, and it's all taken care of. And you go, oh, yeah, that feels good. And basically, this is not dysfunctional. In the same way, if, for example, I have a toothache, which has happened to me from time to time, and this is Friday, and the dentist is taken off for Bermuda, and he won't be back until Wednesday. And I want to function between now and Wednesday. I need something that kills the pain. If I don't do that, my whole mind and body and spirit is discomforted and stressed. Now, I have a choice between living with the problem or finding a false answer to the problem, which is killing the pain, even though the real problem is one of my teeth is rotten, remains. Now, if I can score a Vicodin, I can solve the problem of my pain, and I can continue to function between now and when the dentist shows up. And this is, in fact, what religion does for you. It answers a problem that cannot be answered with the truth. The truth being that the universe doesn't really care whether you live or die. It has not organized itself so that Larry can have a happy life and know what the truth is. The universe is indifferent. We are, it certainly appears, an accident. Okay? So that doesn't tell us what the universe means in relationship to ourselves. So a fiction actually is more functional in terms of our own stress than the truth is, which is why a delusional belief can be not dysfunctional. This need for figuring out what the world means in relationship to yourself is not an abstract need. If you can figure out what the world means in relationship to yourself, it increases your level of survival because you know where you can get food, you know where you're safe, you know where you're not safe, etc., etc., etc. There's a distinct, direct correlation between our ability to control our world and the amount of religion we find in the world. Societies where you can reasonably assured you're going to have food, shelter, safety, and a way to live, medical attention within the natural lifespan, have lower degrees of religious faith than societies that are unstable. One of the hysterias that we meet when we talk about atheism or disbelief is the idea that, and this is one of the issues, one of the main issues that I think I'm trying to get to in the novel, is that if we take God away, what happens to morality? And people who are fervently in favor of God say that morality must be absolute. The only way for it to be absolute is for it to come from God. If not, everything is relative, and if everything is relative, we will all take methamphetamine, run down to the nearest escape bathhouse, have a variety of unprotected sex, and then murder the children who are conceived thereby. In reality, that does not appear to be the case. Very few of the atheists I encounter take out methamphetamine and run down to gay bathhouses. A few, but not many. Non-theistic societies, like Japan, like most of Southeast Asia, if we're going to measure morality by how many murders we have, how long people stay married, how often they get divorced, Japan, which is non-theistic, is obviously a much more moral place than the United States, which is deeply religious by Western standards. Morality clearly exists before, certainly before monotheistic religion. Monotheistic religion shows up around, 1500 BC. God shows up in the desert and says, hello Abraham, kill me a son, and Abe says, God, you must be putting me on. Or he may have showed up earlier to an Iranian named Zoroaster. And that, nobody knows exactly when that happens, but it probably happens before God showed up to Abraham, and at that point God called himself Mazda, but that had nothing to do with the automobile, in case anybody was thinking Mazda was an Iranian automobile. It is not. Anyway, but morality clearly pre-exists this. We have the oldest known legal document is Sumerian, and it dates back to, I have to look at the notes for that, I don't remember, about 1,500 years prior to that. And it covers most of the same territory as the Ten Commandments, plus some additional territory like how to treat your slave, which was apparently an important issue to the Sumerians. But it's a question that needs to be answered. If morality doesn't come from God, where does it come from? And also, if morality doesn't come from God, how come religions always get to claim it? Which they do. It's not just Christianity and Islam and our contemporary religions that claim morality. Religion in almost all societies, polytheistic, claims morality. So, trying to get a firm grasp on the obvious, I made a list of moral principles, and then I stumbled across a book by called Human Universals. An excellent book written in 1991, which was, and it marked a huge change in anthropology. Prior to that, anthropologists looked at the differences between societies. Why do you Bangis wear lots of rings around their neck? Why at one point in Japan did blackened teeth make people attractive? And what all the strange things that make us different. But suddenly Brown turned around and he said, what are the human universals? What are the things that are the same in all societies? One of them, or one set of them, is morality. All societies have morality. They all have a sense of right and wrong. They all have a sense of justice. By the way, monkeys have a